This training mission follows the procedures described in the flight manual for the real aircraft. NATOPS Flight Manual 01-40AVC-1. It's been adapted for use on the A4E of DCF. The step numbers, when provided, correspond to those of the NATOPS manual and are given to allow easy reference to it. The checklist includes the following sections: using TACAN to locate the carrier, pattern entry, pattern, landing, wave off, and shutdown. Currently, there is a bug that prevents carrier recovery if you start in flight. So we will begin the training by taking off from a land airbase. The aircraft is ready to take off, except that the flaps have not yet been deployed. Please extend the flaps to their mid position using either your HOTAS or the highlighted lever in the cockpit. Press spacebar once the flaps are in their mid position. Hold the wheel brakes, then smoothly increase power to 90%. Good. Now release the brakes and begin the takeoff run. Increase power to 100%. Rotation will be at 125 knots. At 125 knots, begin rotation by pulling back on the flight stick. In the air, use trim to adjust attitude to about 10 degrees pitch up. Retract the gear by clicking the lever or pressing the G key. Retract the flaps once you've attained 170 knots using the HOTAS or the F key. Good. Now climb 3,000 feet in cruise at 300 knots. Use trim to stabilize the aircraft and attain horizontal flight. We will use our TACAN receiver to get our fleet's bearing. First, set the TACAN mode to transmit receive. The Stennis TACAN is 7.4 X-ray. To tune the station 7.4, right-click on the center of the tuning dial until a 4 shows at the bottom of the channel wheel. Good. Now right-click on the outer part of the tuning dial until a 7 shows in the middle of the channel. It should display 7.4. Finally, adjust the volume knob until you can just hear the TACAN's station Morse code to confirm that it's correctly tuned. Next, set the BDHI switch to the TACAN position so that the instrument's main pointer will show data from the TACAN. Check the BDHI, bearing, distance, and heading indicator. Its main needle, the thicker one, is now showing the bearing towards the TACAN station. The small numeric window on the instrument shows the distance to the station in nautical miles. Turn your aircraft so that the needle is pointing to its 12 o'clock position, and this will set you on a course towards the carrier. The carrier holding altitude assigned to our flight is 2,000 feet. Start a descent so that you reach that altitude by the time we reach about 10 nautical miles from the carrier. Set the LAWS Q to 2,000 feet on the radar altimeter to get a warning if you get below that level. Remember, you can use the trim hat on the HOTAS to make more subtle changes to the pitch of the aircraft. The key commands are trim nose up, right control plus period, trim nose down, right control plus semicolon. You are now 10 nautical miles from the carrier, and the fleet should be within sight. To enter the recovery pattern, alter your heading towards the trailing most ship of the fleet to our left. Reduce speed and altitude so that you arrive over that ship at about 250 knots and 800 feet. You are now just over the trailing ship. Turn hard right. The carrier heading is 6 degrees. Fly parallel to the carrier at 250 knots and 800 feet. Aim for the ship that is just ahead of the carrier on its right. At that point, we will initiate the brake maneuver. Extend the tailhook using HOTAS or left Alt plus G. Initiate a level brake to the left, striving to maintain 800 feet until you have completed the brake. Extend landing gear and flaps. Your speed should be 225 knots. Descend to 600 feet and attain optimum AOA speed. Check brakes, course 185 degrees. Turn left towards the ship just behind the carrier. Maintain optimum AOA speed. Descend to 500 feet. Now, turn left to enter the groove. Maintain optimum AOA speed. Arrestment is ensured. Set the throttle to idle. Allow the aircraft to roll back a bit to permit the hook to disengage from the cable. Then apply the wheel brakes judiciously to prevent the aircraft from rolling back. Following arrestment, immediately place the master exterior lights switch to off and raise the hook using the HOTAST or the left Alt-G keys. Taxi out of the landing area as soon as possible to let other aircraft land. For the Skyhawk, there is no interaction with the plane director, so you should locate a free spot to park and taxi there by yourself. Press spacebar once you have cleared the landing area. While taxiing, retract the speed brakes and retract the flaps. Press spacebar once you are at your parking spot, securing the engine. We will now perform this procedure before exiting the aircraft. 1. Flaps, confirm up. 2. Speed brakes, retract if still open. 3. Spoilers, confirm they are closed and the switch is off. 4. Horizontal stabilizer trim, set to 0 degrees. 5. Drop tank switch, set to off with a right click. 6. Turn off radios and all electrical equipment. B. Countermeasures, off. C. APR 25 and APR 27 ECM devices, confirm off. D. APN 153 Doppler radar, set to off. E. ASN 41 navigation computer, confirm that it is off. F. UHF radio, off. G. TACAN receiver, set to its off position. 11. Canopy, open by pulling the lever. Press spacebar once it's fully open. 7. Ask the ground crew to place wheel chock. Press the backslash key to open the communication. Press F8 for ground crew, press F4 for wheel chocks, and press F1 for place wheel chocks.
Chief, place the wheel chocks.
Press spacebar once the chocks are in place.
Copy. Wheel chocks are now in place.
14. With the engine stabilized at idle, set the throttle off by clicking it twice. Wait until the engine comes to a complete stop. It may take a bit. (15) Oxygen switch. Confirm it's off. Congratulations, you have successfully completed this training mission. Please exit the mission by pressing the escape